What is going on, Movie Mills? Movie Mills. Hey, we're here. Talk Fantastic Four. The first steps. Okay, it's actually the fourth attempt at the Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
No, I
Um,
only remember this one.
well,
Only remember.
thank you to Movie Mill patrons, Kimberly, Karen. Go get some merch. I guess really just help us get to that 2,000 mark. That's the real goal for the past 10 decades. Um,
It's gonna happen. Just
one day
wait.
when we're old enough.
Yep.
Uh, But yeah, we're here to talk about Fantastic Four. We're going to quickly do a non spoiler review, and then we'll jump into spoilers here, so they'll be clipped out and whatnot. So we'll let Kyle take the reins on this. He's been the Marvel hater since COVID. So, Kyle, Fantastic Four first steps, just
Rightfully so.
quick positives. What did you like, or what'd you like about the movie? Give me your positive.
This was great. I was very impressed by
Yeah, bro.
this interpretation of the Fantastic Four. I had my hesitations about this movie going in, but the trailers were building me up in my confidence of thinking like they got something very interesting and got in a good direction that's a bit obscure for a superhero movie, familiar in parts, but otherwise obscure just in looks of its aesthetics and like the direction they're taking this in. And I think Matt Shackman, who directed this film, really succeeded in that for myself. I felt like he really nailed down not just the chemistry of the Fantastic Four as like a family unit and not just as like a team of superheroes, but they also nailed down the qualities of them being space explorers. And as well as that, his attention and direction, having the aesthetics of the movie, having the visuals of the movie look very impressive. I feel like it's pretty agreed upon that most of Marvel's quality, and even in some cases, most blockbusters lately, their quality hasn't been up to snuff. But I think Fantastic Four, they stick the landing very well and making this feel visually interesting and visually appealing and just making it feel unique and different with its aesthetics. I really appreciated the 60s aesthetics and like the vibe of it. I really like the space race aspects of the movie, even though it feels like futuristic, yet like Justin's futuristic in a weird sort of sense. But I like
Futuristic
that.
60s is cool, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It has that vibe going for itself. So I was just really appreciative of that, and I was really appreciative of them really going for more of the space exploration aspects of Fantastic Four and not so much of them being superheroes on Earth, although that does play a role in the movie that I thought was pretty cool. I really, and going back to the chemistry thing, I think the casting of the movie wasn't a cast in total that I was necessarily on board with, but I was just eager to see if they stuck the landing. And I think most of them did with some elements, especially with Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm and Ebon Moss Bacroc. Is that
So
what
you
his
didn't
last name
like
is?
you didn't like Pedro. You didn't like it going in. You don't like it now.
They were just the standouts for me in terms of the team. Pedro, I thought, did fine. Joseph Quinn, I'm probably lesser on with his take on Human Torch. But I think as like the familial aspects of the team, I thought that they did have like some good chemistry between one another, especially having some relationships such as Mr. Fantastic and Ben Grimm having like a best friend relationship, the romance between Mr. Fantastic and Sue Storm or Invisible Woman. I think they also had terrific chemistry as well. Like there was just plenty of standout moments to where they were really nailing like what makes this team very special and very interesting. So yeah, I just think acting wise and direction wise, they really stuck the landing with making this movie just very engaging and feeling very different, but also just a fun time as well.
Yeah, I had a blast with the movie. I thought it was great. I thought the team was really good. I thought their chemistry was by far the best selling point of the movie after watching the original two. I
Mm-hmm.
loved how they tackled it. I loved the 60s aesthetic. I thought the CGI looked really good for the most part. A couple scenes were very bad, but a lot of scenes were really good. I
Mm-hmm.
thought I really did love the team. I liked how it plays into the future of the MCU. I thought that worked really well, and yeah, I just had a really good time with it. I'll do the quick negatives first. My only negatives were CGI at times was a little bit of a mess, and I think the pacing at the beginning was not very strong.
Oh,
And
okay.
I think the editing choices and pacing wasn't great, but I kind of get why, and we'll get into that in the spoilers. But those are my two negatives. Kyle, what were your negatives other than Johnny and Reed?
Yeah, yeah, some characterization stuff didn't stick the landing for me. Editing, I think you could tell that there was some stuff left on the table that probably could have been a bit useful
Oh,
for the
definitely.
movie to round it
We'll
out.
get in there in spoilers.
Yeah, for sure. CGI, I think it stuck the landing more for me than it did for you, but I can also understand that there's moments to where, it doesn't look its sharpest, doesn't look its best. Also, I want to say the score, very great score in this movie, I thought.
Fantastic Four. I was just
Yeah.
leaving the theater doing that. Yeah, it was a great score. It's a great score. All right, you want to just get into spoilers then?
There we have it.
So guys, from this point on, if you're watching just the full thing, anything is from here on is spoilers. So please, please just be aware of that we're going to spoil the Fantastic Four here. So,
Mhm.
well, the CGI I thought was. I'm just going to jump onto that real quick. I thought was great. The baby at times was rough. Especially at the end when the baby's being put on her chest. The baby was not there. Okay, that was not a real baby at that point. It was so clearly CGI. But it was not as
Yeah,
bad as the CGI baby in Squid Game. I'll tell you that right now. That baby is a bad CGI baby. But
I
the
think
baby
CG.
was rough. The baby was real rough.
Yeah, CGI babies are tough, man. We
They
can't
are,
pull
and
that off yet.
I think overall the CGI was really really good.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
the
yeah. Oh my
space,
god.
the first space chase sequence was some of the best superhero movie action I've seen in a while. Like I was like, man, this is cool. The way the silver and I thought um, Julia Gardner did a great job as Shala Ball in the Silver Surfer. I loved
Yeah.
how she acted. I totally agree with Johnny, sexy space alien. I get it. And she was flying around. I loved how she looked chasing him. I thought it looked great. Galactus was really good too. But
Galactus, man.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
awesome. It was
yeah.
awesome seeing him in full form,
And
that big,
I
that
don't
the
like
voice. Oh,
some of the reviews I've seen where it's like, oh, Galactus was so good because Ralph Eisen, or however you say his last name, sorry if I butcher it, like you get him for just that great iconic voice. And it's like, dude, he's clearly doing some mocap. There is talent behind it's not just the voice that is making Galactus seem so cool right now.
I think they used his
It's
face. Yeah,
acting. Yeah, he's acting.
yeah.
Uh, but
But
anyway,
definitely the voice. It helps. His
yeah,
voice
yeah.
is crazy, man.
So let's really review it. I think here. No, let's just be goofy with it. Kyle, what's
Yeah,
first
it's
thing on your
fine.
mind? Pal, what's first thing on your mind you want to talk about spoiler wise? Come on, go get into it.
I liked how they did the introduction to the team and to this different Earth because it's on Earth 828, which I thought was actually a really nice Easter egg as well. That
Why?
being Jack Kirby's, because it's Jack birthday. Sorry,
It's
Jack
Jack Kirby's
Kirby's.
birthday.
When he was born, yeah. So August
Nice.
28th, 828.
That is cool.
Yeah. Um. So I thought that was a nice little touch, especially when I mean, they tell you it at the end of the movie of what the Easter egg is, but it's a cool little nugget. But on top of that too, I liked how the setup of the movie shows their backstory and how they got their powers in a way that makes sense for like the time period of the 60s where like talk shows were very popular. They're being pegged as like celebrities, but
Yeah.
celebrities that do right with their means and
I
with
mean,
their
yeah,
status.
they're the royal family. I mean, they're
Essentially,
when she's
yeah.
pregnant and everything. It's the scenes of like, well, will she have a boy or a girl? Like who?
Mhm.
What? Like it was very. They are the world celebrities here.
Yeah, exactly. And I like that it shows their origin story very quickly. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you could retell it again, but at this point, I think it's fine to just brush past it and just be in the moment of like the superheroine of it all, which that's the more exciting part. But at the same time, it does a good job with just shining a light on who they are as people, not just in terms of like what they do with their celebrity, but also just in terms of who they are at their core. Like with Ben Grimm, he's just a guy who thinks of the little people. So he's just around in a part of New York City, and he's like, doing tricks with lifting up cars. Excuse me. Um, and just messing around, and he's just helping people out on the street. Or
Yeah.
Sue Storm, is doing government work, or just doing ambassador type of
Yeah.
stuff. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
and
like that.
and with Human Torch, we see him trying to do the celebrity thing of like doing advertising type gigs, and Mister Fantastic, of course, is just pretty much locking himself away, unless if he comes out to do like a science show for kids, or just thinking of like what he can do with his knowledge at a world level.
Yeah.
So yeah, just that stuff at the beginning I thought was actually very well done. But I remember you saying in our non spoiler that you thought the editing at the beginning made it all a bit rushed.
There's no flow. No, and it's not,
Oh,
and I
okay.
don't find it as a true negative. There isn't flow to what scene we're in at the beginning. I loved the montage. I
Mm,
thought the montage was a great way to introduce what has happened. And I like that that's kind of what superhero movies are like. We know these origin stories. Let's just get into it. But the first little bit is we're here, then we're here, and we're here, and we're here. And it doesn't slow until they're in space, and then we're flowing from scene to scene. The editing is
yeah.
not as choppy, and it's not choppy in the way that it felt like this is like bad editing. It felt like they were like, this is just what we have to do. Like, if we
Mm,
don't do this, it's going to be a 3 hour long movie. We've got to make some choices here. um and they wanted to have a lower budget on it. And I know that Mark Shackman has talked about that there won't be like a director's cut of this, just because there's so many things they never did because it was too expensive and they didn't want to do it. And but it's a small nitpick, but I think the editing is very clearly like, we're here, now we're here, now we're here. And then once we're in space, now each scene flows into the next the way it should. And it makes sense for the editing. It's just, at the beginning, they were like, we got to establish everything quick. We're not going to take an hour to have them go into space or to do all these things. We're just going to kind of tell this story quick, and then we're going to get going. And I'm okay with that, for them making that choice. So that's just where it comes from.
yeah, I especially felt that when they're saying the different villains that they've been fighting the past handful of years. Like they showed the Mole Man, and they made references to like Red Ghost and a couple of others.
Red Ghost is the character that got cut that John Malkovich was playing, right?
I think that was supposed to be Malkovich's character, which is something that I do
Yeah.
want to get into about that. But
Get into
otherwise,
it.
I get what you mean about the way that's edited. And as much as I like those kind of callbacks or those teases of like all the other missions that they've had and what they've done as superheroes, but you could feel it though in the editing at the same time, especially in that moment. So I get it. Anyway, with the John Malkovich thing, I just have seen, diehards on Twitter just noticing the stuff that's been cut and what they've heard about through interviews and media and stuff. Of like, clearly there's a lot of scenes that weren't able to be in the final cut of the movie, but they were shown in the trailers. And it's one of those arguments of like, well, just because you show in the trailer, does that mean it should be in the movie? And I just have been seeing fans just kind of being a
I
bit
wonder
upset of
what
like, we're
specific
supposed to have
scenes.
more.
I can't think of
Uh,
anything in the trailer that didn't look like John Malkovich isn't in a trailer, is he?
There's like a brief appearance of him, I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's also one scene where it looks like they're giving a tour of the Baxter building through like an interview. Like Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. Um, it's like in one of the first trailers, they're like introducing the interviewer into their building. They're like, this is where our living room is and where we have dinner every night, or just some stuff like that off the top of my head.
That
But
bothers me.
I know it doesn't bother me throughout the movie. I just don't think about stuff like that when I'm just in the movie. But it's just funny how, I don't know, people kind of just hold on to stuff like that. Um, I
I
find
think
it.
the most clear thing in the movie that they clearly cut was setting up a stronger relationship between Natasha Lyonne's character and the Thing. like his little love interest side plot, is
Mm-hmm.
clearly the thing that they filmed a lot more of and cut. And I think Eben Moss said that they had like a 30-minute long, I think, just kind of like intimate moment and scene that ended up getting cut. That was like, not that it was, I don't think it was like 30 minutes of movie time. I think it was like we had shot about 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes total of footage that we really liked that just ended up not getting used. And if
Sure.
that's where we're going to cut stuff, I'm okay with it. I don't think the movie needed another half hour just to do that kind of stuff, to bring in another villain or to bring in a love interest. I thought the little teases of him being like, "Oh, the world's ending." I kind of had this moment with this girl. I haven't really had a moment. I liked her. I'm gonna go just tell her that
Mm-hmm.
like I just wanted to see her. I thought that worked really well myself.
Yeah, I found it to be fine too. It's just this argument always comes up every couple of years where it's that dilemma of if you show something in a trailer, does that mean it has to be in the movie? And for myself, I just don't think of marketing and the actual product as like a truth. Marketing is lies. I'm sorry to
But it's
say,
also like
like
we're
it's
talking about Marvel here. They CGI'd an entire person of like the Hulk out
yeah.
of like, or they put him in a trailer just to fool you. Like,
Mhm.
what are we doing here? What do we do? They've been doing this for years. This isn't new. This ain't new.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like if there was like a longer cut of the movie that ever got released, sure, fine, whatever. But I don't know. I was still satisfied. I just don't care about what winds up being in the actual movie
Yeah,
from a trailer perspective. I don't know. It just has never bothered me. But anyway, that's not. We can
yeah.
move on from it. I
Let's
just
talk
wanted to
about
bring it up.
let's talk about the team, and then let's talk about the villains, and we can get into sequences of the thing. So I'll say
Sure.
this about the team:
Hmm.
their dynamic and relationship I thought was great. Like you could tell there was chemistry, that they
Yeah.
all like each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
at least enough. I Here's the things I really appreciated. I'm not a big comic like reader. Like I don't know much, but I
Hmm.
always read a little Wikipedia, after. But
It's the
uh,
same thing.
it, it's true. Um, but I thought the idea of Reed felt very secluded. I'm focusing on what's in front of me scientifically. I liked that aspect. I
Hmm.
liked that it was like I'm so smart. I just have to keep thinking of problems. I thought his moments in the movie were really good. I thought Pedro did a great job playing him. I think he's by far the best Reed we've seen on screen.
Oh
Granted, did
yeah.
Miles Teller get a real shot? Who knows?
No.
But
No. 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 No.
I
No.
thought Sue was by far the standout. Her speech about
Yep.
family at the end, that scene is in the trailer, or like that dialogue is in the trailer where
Yeah.
she's like, "We'll face this together as a family." I thought you go in thinking when I hear that it's going to be her saying it to the team, and it's her saying it to the world. And I loved that moment. I
Yeah. That's a
thought
great one.
my favorite thing about the thing and my favorite thing about Johnny was that they didn't dumb them down. They were science people
Hmm.
still, and I liked that. I liked that Johnny was like, "Reed, I want to get back into space. Like it's been fun being a hero. I've enjoyed it, but like
Hmm.
I want to get back into space." I like that they actually showed how Ben's a great pilot. I was totally okay with him not being like a womanizer, but like the way he kind of likes the Silver Surfer, I thought was a cool take on his womanizing aspect from the comics.
Sure. Yeah.
His little I'm gonna use Rosetta Stone to figure out the language is a bit of a stretch. That subplot I think is the weaker part of the entire movie, but it
Yeah.
didn't bother me to the point where I'm like, oh, I liked seeing Johnny have moments when he was doing that with Sue, and I thought
Hmm.
their relationship was really good and strong. So I really dug that. Um, and I liked that the thing had a beard. I thought that was fun. Uh,
Yeah, something I don't really think about ever, but
and one of
yeah,
my
why
favorite
not?
things about him yelling "It's clobbering time" was that he didn't do what we're used to. And it's no shade to Michael Chiklis, who does a great job, but like it's not I'm
Yeah.
gonna make my voice deep because I'm made of rocks and it's clobbering time. He like yelled it. He was like, "It's clobbering time!" Like he was hyped. And I liked
Hmm.
that just little twist on just a famous quote. I
Sure.
thought was really fun. I thought the team had just great chemistry, and that birthing scene was really, really good
Yeah.
and really powerful. And the team
Yeah.
to me worked so well from that scene. And then the scene, again, spoilers, where Sue does die. that sold to me so hard because of their chemistry. And we can get into more of the specifics on that scene, but
Mhm.
first, Kyle, talk about the team.
Yeah, Vanessa Kirby crushed it as Sue.
Kills it.
Um,
Kills it.
I was hearing a lot that it was like her movie and it centers around her the most. I kind of get what
I
they're
don't
going with that, but I don't
don't
I don't
know. I don't
think
think
that's really the
so.
case. Yeah, I get why they kind of sold it as that way because between her being like the I don't know, the emotional or not emotional, that's the wrong way to phrase it. The motherly figure that like glues everyone together. That's like an aspect of that character, along with the movie being about like their child. Like he is the catalyst of like how everything comes into motion
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to this movie. I could see why they said it that way, but I wouldn't say that way. It seems like it's really everyone's movie. But
I agree.
she did a fantastic job, pun
Ha-
intended. But um, she
nice.
was great as Sue Storm. I was really appreciative of what she was doing
It's great,
on
Sue.
multiple layers, not just as like acting as a superhero, but also just acting as a person, which that really helped with Reed Richards and his side of their relationship because they felt like a real couple. It didn't feel like a couple that is just so passionately in love with each other all the time, but they were having problems and they weren't afraid to like be a very mature couple despite having problems with each other and just with marriage at times and just like the frustrations of all that
Yeah.
they're dealing with. And I'm sure that there was plenty more stuff on the cutting room floor that could have explored that. But I think for the movie that we got, their relationship and those two acting off of each other really sold that aspect of them feeling like real people, real characters.
Yeah. And
Which
I think,
really, yeah, you go.
oh, sorry. Well, I want you to finish. You finish?
Just the point that you're making about the birthing scene, I think it really helps, with their setup of how they act with each other, and it pays off with like the birthing scene, and then even beyond that as well, where we see them, still have their issues to an extent, but still come together very well to like figure stuff out together.
I
It's
think
just it's very impressive to me. It worked very
there are
well.
three great scenes that show how strong their relationship is. Birthing scene,
Hmm.
when they realize that, when she realizes that he is actually saying we're going to use Franklin as bait, and the others haven't
Yeah.
fully caught up yet, and Sue figures it out and knows without saying anything, and they're just
Hmm.
letting the acting of the moment hit.
Yeah.
And then when he's doing chest compressions and he's trying to
Hmm.
bring her back and he's like, oh my god, she's gone, those are the scenes that really worked. And what's also special about the birthing scene that I think works overall is like you put that in this 2005 cast, and they you couldn't make a scene like that work because, and this is just the choices they made, they dumbed down the Thing and Johnny, but in this situation they don't do that. Reed will stop and do what he doesn't feel like he has to be the one to do this. He trusts that Ben and Johnny can figure this out without him.
Hmm.
Like he helped, but now he's like, Sue, I'm not leaving you. I am here. And I thought that was really, really well done.
That's a very great point, Alex, because I
Thank you.
think
That's what I
there's
do.
a problem with how people perceive Reed Richards, and they think that he is so attention driven towards his science that he like that he pushes away his loved ones and
Yeah.
his family, which that really is not the case. Like, yes, he has tunnel vision to an absolute T when it comes to like his science, but at the end of the day, if he hears someone asking him for help, he is gonna stop what he's doing
Yeah.
and make sure to help his family out. And honestly, hearing you and me talk about them, I was saying in the non-spoiler review, I wasn't really sold on Pedro, but I think I have to walk that back a bit
Good.
because they are
So
he is doing good stuff here, and like the characterization is pretty accurate when it comes to what they do with Reed Richards. So I do think I have to walk that back a bit. I think he did do a very good job.
yeah, I think the only people that don't like him is just that he's become oversaturated and he's in a lot of stuff right now, and they just don't like
Hmm.
how he acts on press tours. He's handsy, and they see those things and they're like, all right, he's hit that moment. I mean, it happens to everybody. It happened to
Oh yeah,
McConaughey. It's happened to everybody.
Lawrence,
It's
Jennifer
just, yeah,
Lawrence,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Oh, it hit Jennifer Lawrence hard.
yeah.
Where she was in so many things that all of a sudden it was like, we can't stand her. And she went from fun, cool, quirky to like people were like, she's annoying, and it's just yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell if
Um,
we're there yet or if people are just forcing that to happen. I don't
no,
know.
I think it's just I think people are annoyed of what happened to his character on The Last of Us, and I think people are like, all right, I'm kind of done. And we did go from The Last of Us right into this, and he was in that, The Materialist, and
Sure.
Gladiator 2. He's been in a lot of
Hmm.
stuff recently, but yeah, Kyle, what do you? So the Thing and Johnny, you said a little more you like the Thing, but a little less so on Johnny. Give me. Let's talk about those two.
Uh, yeah, I think the thing, Ben Grimm. It worked for me. It worked for me.
He's so good. Love Cousin.
Yeah, he's much more soft spoken than I was anticipating because he is
Like
a
it.
soft spoken guy, but he does have like a gruffness, street level type of approach to him. But the gruffness just didn't come out with this interpretation. But I can live with that because they still nailed the majority of how he is like as a individual. Like he just has a big heart, and
Yeah,
you see that like a very prominent moment for me is Sue and Reed trying to play off like, oh, we're not acting weird, you guys are acting weird at the dinner table, and Ben's just like looking at them because he knows Reed so well and like how
yeah.
awkward of a guy he is, and then Sue's just acting stranger than normal, but
And
she's
he's super
holding.
smart. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, he's super smart, so he's like, oh, you guys are pregnant, that's and yeah, it's anyway. I like what they were using and utilizing him, and I liked especially that he is saddened that he is the thing, that he's a rock creature, but I kind of appreciated that he doesn't hold a grudge with Reed, because the thing with Reed is that if there's a problem that he thinks he can solve but can't, or like fails to do it, he really blames himself. And it's nice to see that Ben doesn't do the thing of like holding it over his head, that he like just
Yeah.
has a big heart, that he cares about his friend more than he does of himself and his own deformity, I guess. But he's the thing, come on, everyone loves him. So I like the approach they were doing with the thing. I was
I do too. I
satisfied with
like
it.
that he's sweet. I like that he's kind of the opposite of the Hulk, and I like that.
Oh, big time. Yeah.
It's I am big and a monster, and like I look different, but I am really
Hmm.
like a softie at heart, and I like that. So what about Johnny?
I don't know, I just I couldn't figure out what Joseph Quinn was really trying to do with the character. Like the character to me, as much as I was okay with him not being like so loud and such a loud mouth, there was something that felt missing to like have the energy feel a little different from how the rest of the team was acting. And I liked, for me, that Johnny Storm was always like kind of the outlier of the group, not just in terms of like what he does for fun or what he does in his free time, but also just in terms of like how he acts as a person. Because obviously, with him being um, loud and over the top, is just like his shield for like his own insecurities. At least
Got
how I
it.
read the character, and I felt like that was kind of missing. They were trying to do that with like the science aspects of him like really wanting to go back into outer space, or him showing like he's a really smart guy and he just needed some way to prove that to everyone. And I like those elements. But I just felt like there was something missing to just make him feel a little different from the rest of the group. And I felt like Joseph Quinn,
Interesting.
granted, I'm not the biggest Joseph Quinn fan. Like I think he's a fine actor, but like I just he just doesn't really do it for me to begin with.
Gladiator 2?
I'm really hoping that's not me like having a bias in that regard, but I just felt like he felt like he was acting a little bit lost in the wrong way. So I just didn't. There was moments where I was like, "Oh, you almost got something there," but I just didn't feel like he really stuck the landing and getting the character quite right.
Did you like how the flames looked? I thought they looked really good.
CGI was good. Yeah,
Yeah. Apparently
that
on
dude's.
set they had like he had like a little outfit that like really looked like if he was just lighting some parts of him, that it looked
Oh,
like fire and it would light up on set, which I
that's
thought was
cool.
cool.
Yeah,
Um,
his
but
eyes were crazy blue. Is it like contact lenses? I don't know what color his eyes are, but
just a
I don't
baby
know. There
blue
was just
guy.
some shots where his eyes were just
Maybe he's just a
blue, and they
great
were just.
guy, Kyle.
I don't know. Like it was just
Kyle,
wild to me. I
you
was.
I think you got a little crush on Joseph Quinn, and you have to hate him because you can't admit it. You're just a little schoolgirl who likes him, and so you've got to
I
bully
do
him a little
not,
bit.
Alex. Stop.
Um,
Stop it.
you know, I kind of get what you're saying, but I think, and I think his storyline is overall the weakest, but his little side quest. But I
Mm-hmm.
do think that I think the vibe he gives is I felt in this movie that his character in the movie felt he was the underdog of the four. And I thought that's what
Mm-hmm.
part of the reason he was like, I'm going to do this on my own. Reed is busy. I can do
Yeah.
it. And like, I want to go back into space. I want to do this stuff. But like when he's talking to Shalabal, I thought that was great when he's talking to the Silver Surfer. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
loved all those scenes. And when he says, take me, I'll be the next Herald then.
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it and save my people. I was like, now that is a cool aspect of Johnny that I don't think we've seen on screen, that he is a hero,
No,
that
for
he's not
sure.
just going to come in blazing hot. He's like, no, I get it. I'll
Mm-hmm.
do it. I'll make the
Yeah.
sacrifice you made. Let me do it.
Yeah, I think it shows that I actually want to look up who was the writer of this movie as well, but the
Oh,
writing
I'll tell you,
directing
there's a
team,
lot of writers. I
interesting.
looked it up.
Okay.
Kyle, there are 3 or 4 screenplay credited writers on this film, and there are
Hmm.
one. And then let's see, I think 3 overlap, 2 overlap,
Well,
3
I don't know.
overlap as story as well.
Interesting. So I don't know whose vision it was or how they were able to nail down like the qualities of Johnny that I thought shined through in this movie. But I'm happy that they showed good examples of that because, as I said, yes, he is like the loudmouth of the group, but there's a reason for that. Like he has his insecurities, but when it's go time for him to step up to the plate, he will step up to the plate.
And I just like that it's not I'm a hothead
Mhm.
literally, so I'm going to be a hothead in my actual brain. I like that he thinks and he calculates and he's coming up with plans and I liked all that.
Good. Yeah.
So we both agreed Galactus was really, really cool as the
Oh my god,
villain. I
dude.
mean, the
I
shot
was
of him when
I was leaning
Franklin,
forward to my seat, man. I
yeah.
was giddy, dude.
Have
It
you
looked
seen the images
great.
of people that have seen the movie on this giant IMAX in like LA where the screen is like really big and how much more you can
Mm,
see of him? It's really cool.
God, I
Um,
wish I saw it in IMAX.
yeah, I think I might have to go again here.
Yeah.
But so Galactus was great. What do you think of Silver Surfer and Garner's portrayal of her?
Her portrayal's fine. I didn't have a problem with her acting as Silver Surfer. I just wish that there was something more there, I guess. Like I think they sold it enough to where he got the gist of like why she's working with Galactus, what her deal is. They got to that point very well, so it was just fine in general, but I don't know. I guess it's a side character and a side villainous character that turns around and saves the day. Weirdly reminiscent of Rise of the Silver Surfer
Yeah,
in more ways than one, but especially in that case. So I don't know. It's fine.
I liked
Not
her.
terrible. Not amazing. It's
I thought
fine.
she did a really good job. Well, I know
Yeah.
there was such a big deal on whether it was going to be her or Lakeith Stanfield really wanted the
Supposed to
role,
be
and
a man.
there were other actors who they looked at too. But clearly, I mean,
Yeah.
the love interest, gets rid of the idea of them kind of flirting is a story beat. But I thought she looked really great. I thought like Doug Jones and that old CGI looked good, fine for the time, but
Hmm.
it's a hard character to put in a screen, and I think they did a good
Probably.
job. Her chasing them, like all the actual surfing stuff, was really
Really
cool.
good. Yeah.
But I do think her ending, like, I like the moment where Johnny figures it out. I think it works fine, and then her leaving and then staying out of the whole battle till the end. A little predictable. It's like, all right, I kind of
Yeah.
wish he maybe had come in to help out more throughout.
Yeah.
Or like show Galactus just be like, I'm done with you and one big hit. And then she comes in the end, I thought would have worked a little better, but overall I thought
Hmm.
was fine.
What do you think though? Did it feel a bit too similar to Rise of the Silver Surfer at times, especially in parts of the third act?
You mean overall?
Yeah.
No, just
Mm.
her coming in to be like, I'll be the one to stop him was the only thing that really felt like that to me.
Yeah.
I've heard I want to ask your opinion on this. I've heard a handful of people say they feel the ending fight is not rushed, is dragged, and it's way too long. And I've heard a lot of hate on Sue pushing him into the portal and it takes too long and all this stuff. And I gotta say, I heavily disagree. I thought that was the best part of that entire fight. But what do you
Uh,
think? What do you think of the
it,
ending fight?
funny, it felt quick to me. The final fight.
I also
Uh,
thought it. I didn't think it felt
I've
quick, as in like the beginning feels quickly paced. I think the fight just doesn't. I don't think it drags. You know what I mean?
I think so. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I get what you're saying. Like it doesn't. It didn't feel like we're in this way too long for me. So
I agree.
yeah, I just don't agree with that. The Sue Storm thing. I think the one complaint that I've heard is that it doesn't show too well, or there's not enough setup at the beginning of the movie to see her have this big payoff of having this much power to be able to like push this giant galactic being. And I think that one thing that they could have done better was either just set up that a bit more and have the payoff feel like way more satisfying that way, rather than having it feel like it comes out of nowhere, that she just musters up this large amount of power and is capable of doing that against Galactus. For me, in the moment, I just chalked it up to it being like mother instinct, where like a mother sees their child getting pinned in a car or something, so they lift up the car. You know, those types of stories. I kind of
Mhm.
chalked it up to that in the moment of the movie. But coming out of it, I can understand how that probably needs to be set up in terms of like maybe showing a little bit more of like how powerful she actually is, rather than it feeling like it kind of comes out of left field.
I don't think it comes out of left field at all. I had two reactions during the scene, and one of them, and it was the smaller of the two, is with you, that it is just a mom instinct that I'm a guy and won't understand,
Mm.
especially with like a newborn, like a fresh out the womb baby here.
Yeah,
Like
this
a
is like a
month
few
goes
weeks
by.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I, as a non-comic guy, I knew the only thing I knew about Reed and Sue's children in the comics was that I knew they had two.
Hmm.
That at some point they have two. I couldn't remember if they were twins or not. Like, this is me going into the movie. Not that I actually actively thought this, but like I've been thinking about it since. I was
Sure.
like, I knew they had two, and I know at some point Kang is technically a variant of like great 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 grand. That's all I knew about his lineage. I
Yeah.
didn't know their powers. I didn't know anything.
Hmm.
So when Galactus is like, dude, you're carrying the most powerful being, like he's like me. Like that boy is powerful. And then Sue is showing off her power. My thought was, oh, this makes sense. That the
Mm.
baby has insane power because Sue herself doesn't realize fully how powerful she is. And she is
Yeah.
way stronger than we viewed her to be. And it's not like she went like toe to toe. She just pushed him. She
Mm.
used what she could. I wish they would have just added like a little like it made me think of the 2005 movie where Jessica Alba gets like a nosebleed. I was like, give her a nosebleed in this
A
scene.
buddy
Like,
of
just
ours
give
said
her a
the same
little.
thing. Yeah,
Which
our buddy.
one, Alex or Daniel?
No, Daniel did. Daniel did. Daniel did. Yeah.
God, I say take it further. Get some blood tears going.
Bloodshot eyes.
Oh, God. I think that would have helped a little bit. I did think at times they looked a little too clean. That was like a really small thing, but I think that was my thought during the biggest thought reaction of the. I had both those reactions in the moment, but it was really just like, oh yeah, this makes sense why her baby is all powerful because she's really powerful, and they were so worried about the whole movie. They're like, we're really strong, like we don't want to make this crazy alien, you know, baby, to the point where they made a baby so powerful the baby's hiding it from them. And then
Hmm.
since I've read a Wikipedia page about Franklin Richards and everything about him, and now I know a lot and I'm really hyped about it. And this is old school. Like, this is what Marvel used to make me do, and I liked it. Like, I'm thinking, like, I want to go to a comic shop. I want to pick up a comic about this. Like, I'm thinking that now. I want to read up about it.
Attaboy.
But I had that reaction that so it didn't feel left field to me. It was like, oh, makes sense. That's the feeling I had. But
Okay.
yeah.
I kind of like that, but I think visual illustration of like it being a really big deal helps at the same time.
So you don't think, though, it shows how powerful she is to have a baby coming out of her and her going through contractions and she's still able to cloak their ship on a high-speed intergalactic chase? That's not powerful enough to make her feel like her pushing Galactus isn't out of left field? That's not enough for you, huh?
I guess
Should
I
have been
just didn't.
twins.
I guess I just didn't think about it in hindsight, to be honest. Also, for me, I think of Franklin as being a mutant, so I didn't think about
Is
his
he?
powers being tied to hers or Reed's.
Is he a
I
mutant in the
believe
comics?
so. Yeah, I remember him being labeled as a mutant.
Are
Yeah.
they not labeled as mutants?
No, no, because they're not born with the powers, so it's fine.
And
But
he
if you're
is,
born
so
with
he would be a
powers,
mutant, even though he got them from mutants himself. Interesting. Yeah, classic comics making no
classic comics,
sense.
making no sense. I hope that they don't. I kind of hope they don't make Franklin like labeled as a mutant going forward, just because like for me when I see mutant characters in Marvel comics that I read, it's always like, this guy has a tail that like throws acid slime at people if he wants to. Like it can be like such
Yeah,
small little weird quirk things or whatever,
my
and then it's like,
fingernails grow fast.
yeah, exactly. But
And
him,
Franklin
he has
then
the
causes
power.
face.
He has the power of a god. He
Yeah.
could just make a universe if he wanted to. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I was reading about it, and it was like Franklin can, when as a baby, made pocket universes. At one point, he
Yeah,
aged himself up. At one point, he suppressed his own powers because he wanted to have a normal child, like all this stuff.
yeah.
And well, we're going to talk more about Franklin because I want to talk about the post-credit scenes. But I really quickly want to talk, as we talked about the villains, but there's one other character I do want to mention that I do think feels cut, and there was definitely going to be more Mole Man scenes.
Can I just mention one thing real quick? I actually really like that you talked about how powerful she is with her powers, looking back on all the things that she's doing. I think that's really good insight on your part, and I wish I caught that, so I'm jealous. And I also think in this movie, they did a really good job at making her powers creative. I mean, it took me like half a sec too long to realize she used her powers to help Reed see the baby in her belly.
That was
And I was like,
cool.
that's crazy.
That's a cool
She,
scene. That was
yeah,
cool. I forgot
exactly.
about that. That was a cool scene.
So I'm glad that you brought that up because the movie does a great job with their powers because they can be a little tough to like figure out how to make cool, but and it also does show like how powerful she is.
That's
So
been the biggest
great
problem.
props to you, man.
That's been
Yeah,
the biggest problem Fantastic Four has with Doctor Doom is figuring out how to make him have powers.
we'll get into that. Yeah,
But and I would wager that most of the people that are like that, her having so much power came out of left field, are probably single men that don't think about the fact that she was giving birth in a spaceship while Reed was like, Sue, I need you to do this. And she was like, I'm going to get it done because I'm Sue Storm, bro.
you had to call out her friends like that. That's brutal, man.
Was that our friends who said that?
I mean, a little bit, but I've
Alex,
seen that
I'm
online.
looking at you, pal.
I've seen that online as well.
I'm looking at you, bucko.
It's just it was just funny.
let's put everybody that says that in a birthing simulator and then suddenly
Yeah.
see if they can give out a little power.
Yeah,
They have
they'll
some poor
exert
women
some.
around here,
Yeah, we're
but
feminists
Mole
on this
Man,
channel.
Paul Walter Hauser. I thought he did
Oh,
great.
yeah.
I thought he was funny for his little bit of time. It does feel a little bit like he meant to have a bigger role, but I think it was fine. That didn't bother me one way or the other. What'd you think?
Yeah, similar to the Silver Surfer. It is what it is. Like they're fine.
Well, Silver Surfer gets a lot more
Good in
screen
their
time than
moments.
Mole Man.
I know, but it's just the same thing for me to say. Like I just don't have any like big thoughts on the character or how they're used. I guess I will say that it is nice to see. You see it come all the way throughout the movie of Sue Storm making like a peace treaty between like his underworld versus like America and like the world above, and how it can tie into like having everyone work together, which is I thought was a really nice aspect of this movie was that they were able to use
Unify
their
the world.
celebrity and their powers to like unite not just everyone in America but like the whole world to try to make this teleportation device work and getting to another planet, which I really thought was going to happen at the end of this movie. So it kind of did shock me that it didn't go that way, but it was a nice feeling seeing that in the movie because as we see in the real world, it's kind of hard to unite a lot of people.
Very Project Hail Mary for those who have read it. That was the vibe it gives off completely because that
okay,
stuff like
that's
that
cool.
can happens a little bit in in
I'm
that.
excited for that movie. So I don't know.
Real good.
I like that the movie was doing that. Unfortunately, I wish our real world was kind of like that. But hey, in this movie, it was nice. It was nice to see that.
The
It's nice to
biggest
feel hopeful.
One of the biggest laughs in our theater was when he was like, "I want to be buttered up a little bit." I was.
Same.
Did your theater laugh? I've seen some people be like, "My theater didn't laugh at all. Like this movie's really not that good. Like it wasn't funny at all." I love Superman. Like that's basically what I've seen a lot of.
Oh,
Um,
in parts, but it's also not as much of a yuck yuck type of MCU movie as as I thought it might wind up being. So I was kind of
yeah,
appreciative of that. But I could see how it could feel a little too self
there were.
serious at the same time. Like there was moments where I was like, we could add a bit of levity here,
I think
maybe.
there were
But
moments they tried that didn't always land, but I laughed quite
sure,
a bit at a lot of scenes. They weren't necessarily like big, rolling
no,
around on the floor laughs, but it was like nice, like those
yeah,
type of laughs.
and that's
And I had a
okay.
few bigger laughs, but um, yeah. All right, you want to talk these post credit scenes here?
Uh, did you? Well, real quick, did you like the finale of the movie of them pushing Galactus into like somewhere in deep space? Like they didn't, they solved the problem, but didn't fully solve the problem. I kind
Yeah, I
of
like
liked
it.
because it's kind of what they have to do with Galactus of like we can't beat him, but we can just push him away until next time.
No, I did like it. And
Yeah.
remember my theory after we saw Thunderbolts, and spoiler for Thunderbolts as well, because the end credit scene of Thunderbolts is the Fantastic Four ship being shown entering space.
Hmm.
And my theory was they were going to lose in Fantastic Four, and
I
either
thought
they
they were
were going to
gonna.
put the baby on, because the theory I had going in was that maybe they were going to have the baby at some point, that they were going to put Franklin on a ship, or they were all going to go on a ship, and they were going to like send him
Hmm.
away or something. And I mean, we'll get into the other post credit scene. It's probably likely what's something similar ish is probably going to happen.
I got a theory about it.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I liked it. It means Galactus can come back. He is a
Hmm.
pretty big threat. Um, and I liked that it was like Reed's like, oh crap, I do have a plan. Something they set up earlier in the movie. He's
Hmm.
learned how to teleport, and it's just a minor thing at the beginning. And he's like, we can do this. Let's move the whole Earth. Classic Patrick Star. Let's take Earth and let's move it
Low
over
key,
there.
yeah.
Um, and I like that then it was like, oh, they're destroying it. Like we didn't think. I kind of like that sometimes they were too smart to think of simple things like, oh, there's
They
no
need to
way
be
that
taken down
they
a
would just
peg.
be destroyed. Yeah, it
Hmm.
was very much like we figured out a plan, we got to rush to it, so we're not paying attention to all aspects. And I kind of like that the four of them kind of do that, and they don't really like, somebody doesn't stop and go, well, what if the Silver Surfer comes back and destroys it?
Yeah.
But I thought it worked. It was a good pivot. Like, wait, we have one left. Instead, let's just get him on Earth and teleport him.
Hmm.
It doesn't make as much sense, maybe, why Galactus is like, I have a herald to just not do the work for me, but I kind of want the baby, so I'm going to take the baby and then go back in my ship and eat. But I thought it worked fine. I liked it, and it was a
Hmm.
good way to show all their powers. I thought Reed's rubber or stretching
It looked good.
powers is really hard to do live action. It's really
Yeah.
hard to make that look good. And even when it looks good, it still looks goofy. And I thought they made it look good. Him almost ripping him in half, I thought was really cool.
That
Uh,
was all. That was awesome. Like I was impressed.
yeah,
I kind of like that it showed that he can't just stretch so much that it has to be
yeah,
within reason. Um, and I also was actually very impressed. It was what like one of my worries going into the movie because I feel like we didn't see a lot of it, and I guess you don't really in the movie. But when it does happen, you're like, oh, all right. He's kind of just he's bouncing around. It's nothing crazy. Like he doesn't shapeshift or nothing like that. But it works for what it is. I liked
yeah.
it.
And I like that, like, she almost didn't push him all the way in. He grabbed a building and was pulling himself out. I like that they gave Ben Grimm something to do to help out, that this is what he can do, rip
Mhm.
the building down. So he can't grab onto it. But even when they were like saving people in the montage in the beginning, like they're fixing the train and Johnny's spinning around and all this stuff, I thought their powers worked really, really well. And I
I did
really
too.
liked this and the Batman. They're bringing comic book vehicles and making them
Yeah,
fun.
dude.
And I liked
The
that. I like that
Fantastic
they
Car
have their
ruled.
car and their ship thing, that like whatever they call it,
Hmm.
the Ford Fantastic or whatever. What's it
Fantastic
called?
Car. Yeah.
Is that what it's called? The Fantastic Car? Like, I like
Pretty
that
sure.
they were
Yeah.
like, we can't keep up with Johnny. Like, we got to get places quick. we're gonna do this, and they made it like a kind of its own little small character. And I like wins because that's a thing in the comics. I like that they're kind of bringing that back.
We need movies to feel lived in, and I think
Yeah.
between this and the Batman, it's very good examples of like that can't be accomplished. I just don't know why it feels like that hasn't been the case anymore, but I hope it's coming back. It's been
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good feeling.
Yeah. So did you like the ending then, where they push him in, or?
I did because I thought for sure it was going to be a very sad ending of them having to like move a planet or them having to like escape a world that was destroyed just
Yeah.
based on the trailer. So the trailers weirdly like tricked me, which doesn't really happen very often these days. But I like that it was a happier ending. But I do think with the after credits scene, I do have a good theory about like what they're gonna do to like connect with the rest of
And
the
I've seen a
MCU.
few people talking about stuff, so let's get into it. Are you
Yeah,
okay going over time, my guy? We'll probably go over a little bit. I'm good.
yeah, yeah. That's fine.
We're
Let's
gonna
do it.
go over. But so the end credit scene is 4 years later. You know, they're just back being heroes. Franklin has aged up. It's her reading to Sue, reading to Franklin. I like that it was like they're reading a kid's book. He's like, I want the other book. And then, Herbie I liked. And I liked Johnny's little giving him
Mhm.
scratchies and stuff. I thought it was
Yeah,
cool.
cute.
Cute little robot. But I like that like he held up like the quantum physics book or whatever, like the sciencey book, and it was like, okay, like he is a little bit of a non-normal kid, but also a normal kid, and they had like a real beat up version of the caterpillar book or whatever book he wanted to read.
Mhm.
And then she senses something is wrong right away, and they turn the corner, and it is been confirmed now that was RDJ in costume, but it's Doctor Doom, mask off, and Franklin's kind of reaching towards or lightly touching his face or doing something,
But it's
and
kind
then
of
it is
over the
not.
shoulder, so you don't see
Yeah,
Robert. You just see like his cloak and like him holding the
yeah. You
mask,
don't
but you don't
see,
see
but
his face.
They have
Um,
confirmed over the last day that was RDJ, and it sounds like that is a scene filmed from Doomsday.
I think the Russos directed that end
Yeah.
credit scene and the Thunderbolts one.
They did, yeah, that's
Yeah.
confirmed. But I think it's not like we came in to just shoot this scene. It sounds like that is that the Thunderbolts might have been we came in to shoot a scene, but I don't know if that's actually in the Avengers Doomsday. But I think this one, it sounds like is confirmed for sure will be part of it. So
Okay.
I'm guessing our theories are probably fairly similar. But go ahead, what do
Yeah.
you got? I think most people kind of have an idea of what's going to happen, but I
Yeah.
want to hear what you got.
Maybe this isn't the most original theory, but I think that um, Doctor Doom. I don't know if it's like this world's Doctor Doom or some other world's Doctor Doom, but I think he obviously knows about the power of this child, and he's going to kidnap that child, and somehow he's going to use it to help him like go to other worlds or like create other worlds, and just somewhere along the line like kind of become all powerful, all encompassing with like using this kid. And the Fantastic Four are going to chase after him, which is probably them coming into the world, our world, and the Thunderbolts spot them. So I'm betting that's them chasing after Doom or something, trying to get their kid back.
Yeah. I saw some people talking about how I think it was Coy on the Real Rejects.
Mm.
Love Coy Jandrew. If I always butcher his last name, but
Jandro? Might be
yeah,
John.
he's one of the pundits.
Yeah.
He's one of the YouTube guys to go to. He knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for
But
sure.
he
He's
was talking
awesome.
about that it looked like the Thunderbolt set, and then the set of that scene looked like it was the same set redesigned to just be the different building. And he had the idea that I liked where he was like, I wonder if that's on purpose, because if that is the Fantastic Four flying into our universe, where will they first go? They'll probably think this is their back, like this is a different version of their building.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to that, which happens to be where the Thunderbolts are at.
Okay,
And I
Koi.
thought that was a good little parallel. Well, we know that this is merging multiple universes, right? We know Fox X-Men are coming back.
Yeah.
We know that this now Fantastic Four by themselves universe is coming in, and then to our main MCU timeline. So there's at least 3 separate universes that are merging here, right? Am I missing anybody that's merging here?
Maybe the Fantastic crew. Come on, let's bring them back. I think you're right, though. I think it is
That
those
would be
three.
real wild for Johnny Storm to show up and they're like, "Weren't you in Black Panther? Didn't we already take care of you, pal?"
They're like, wow, that's racist.
Probably. uh, I love all the memes people are pulling from when what's his face? Why Miles Teller like turns real slow and smirks, and he's like, "Say that again." When he's like,
Say
"This
that
is
again.
fantastic. What is fantastic?" Um,
What a bad movie.
so here's a couple of thoughts I've had in my head about what we're so first because you're the
Hmm.
guy, you're the guy that knows things, pal.
I know some.
Is Doomsday next? Is that the next Marvel movie,
I think so. I believe
or
this is the.
is Spider-Man Brand New Day first?
Ooh.
Which one's first? What's the next one? All right, I
Ooh,
go. You weren't the guy.
2026. I actually think Spider-Man is coming out in the summer, and then and then Avengers comes out in December. Yeah, that might be it. I
I'm gonna
had in my
find out
head that we weren't gonna have an MCU movie until like next December, but that might be wrong. That might be Spider-Man that comes next.
because we know it. Well, the theory is that let's see what AI has to say on Google
Ugh,
here. The Marvel movie scheduled after Fantastic Four First Steps is Avengers Doomsday. It is the first part of a two-part Avengers finale that concludes blah blah blah. So let's see. Reddit's got a little talk here, but this looks a little old.
does Spider-Man come out in 2027 then? I don't know.
This is 2 days ago from Screen Rant.
They would know.
Marvel's next movie after Fantastic Four First Steps releases in July of 2026. Spider-Man Brand New Day is the next film on the MCU
That
slate,
is.
and it's currently set to release on July 31st, 2026. And the
We'll see
theory is that
though.
he's not in Doomsday is the theory. That Spider-Man's not involved. Um,
Yeah, and I don't think Brand New Day. As of now, I don't think it's going to be closely tied into Doomsday either. I think that's going to be a solo thing. Is my guess.
what do you mean? Oh, that is street level? Yeah, didn't we just talk about that on the last podcast? Kevin
Yeah,
Feige confirmed
I
that?
think yeah, I think that's going to be true. I don't think it's going to be anything relating to Doomsday or anything bigger, but I just am cautiously optimistic about it. Is all.
Yeah,
Um,
July 31st, and then Avengers Doomsday release date is December 18th, 2026. So the next Marvel movie we get, yeah, is Spider-Man, and then we'll get Doomsday,
they're
which I
gonna.
kind of like.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think it's okay for there to feel like a bit of a break, a bit more space between these things.
I hope.
And
Go ahead. Sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, and I hope that audiences are okay with that and watch other movies.
Yeah.
Different genres of things. Um, oh shoot, I thought I was gonna lose something. We'll see because I know they're shooting Doomsday right now. I don't know if they're
And
shooting Brand New Day yet,
no,
so
I
things could
I
move.
think Kevin Feige, when we were talking, I think they said that it's starting in like a month. So they haven't even started like filming. The production started, but filming hasn't
It's
started.
a little quick. It's a little
But
quick. We'll see.
well, Doomsday might need that extra time since they're rewriting everything on set. Yeah, did you
Yeah.
see like Rebecca Romaine was the one who was like, yeah, there's no scripts going on. She just said that at like Comic-Con or something like a couple days ago. She was like, yeah, they're rewriting stuff every day. And it's like you brought in Alan Tudyk and all these old actors, and they're just letting spoilers fly like Tom Holland loose. Like it's just
It's they have that X-Men 1 training, man, where they're like, I don't know, just say it's fun or something, whatever. Go
It was like
ahead.
when Mark Hamill talks about like I let everybody and their mother read the first Star Wars, and on the second one I couldn't say a word about it.
Yeah.
Like it's so I kind of that reminds me of like when Ant-Man, obviously Spider-Man's bigger than Ant-Man, but I kind of, because like this after credit scene got me really excited for Doomsday. Like Thunderbolts, that after credit scene, it was kind of like, all right, we're kind of feeling like we're kind of back in terms of like the hype builds from movie to movie. Like I want to see what the next movie is to see how these connect. I want if this show is going to continue like this, that's what I want it to be, a TV
Mm-hmm.
show. And I like that, but I want their connections to like have a bit of a purpose. Like some of them have clearly not. And they've been random things that don't make sense. But like these are clearly connected if they're scenes from Doomsday. And so it's kind of like when Ant-Man had the scene from Winter Soldier in it, or like the Civil War with Bucky caught. It's like I liked when they did those type of scenes.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get another one after Brand New Day. But so yeah, the idea would be then I think it's got to be the Fantastic Four has either left chasing Doom, or I heard a theory that maybe Doom steals their ship and Franklin and escapes to
Oh,
a
that's a good
different
one too.
dimension,
Yeah.
or a different universe, I guess. But
Mm.
I think also the idea of the teleporting, I think, is important in Fantastic Four first steps, because I think that's the likely jump is we figured out teleport, but I think I just figured out how to change this teleporter to go to a different universe. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be kind of the jumping off point for them. But what else do you think about them coming over here?
What else do I think? I don't know. Not much else, to be honest. I don't know what other. I don't know why the Avengers or any of the other heroes on our world would go to theirs.
Makes sense, yeah.
I know that for the X-Men, I guess they do have Monica's character from the Marvels, who is with Beast, it looks like. So
That's
maybe
right.
she's the key to somehow bringing them to our planet. But I also wonder why would they would be involved unless if Doom does something to their planet before jumping over to ours. I don't know. That's just
And
all. Yeah, that's what I got so
one
far.
thing I have also heard is that we know from Loki that 616, our main MCU
Oh wait,
timeline, is the important one. That they are the central universe. That
that's
they
been
are the
awesome.
important timeline.
Yeah,
And I saw a couple people say like, what if Doom, like they're chasing Doom into our universe because that is the easiest way to get at Loki. That he is in that universe as the sacred timeline, and that maybe
yeah,
he's gonna go take him out so he can merge them, or if he's gonna like maybe his idea is I'm gonna put Franklin in this position Loki's in to
yeah.
do my bidding, or maybe Franklin will just break it, and then Loki's like, we need help from everybody, and I know which three universes are the most powerful. Like maybe Loki's like, I'm
That's
the
a
I'm
good
the
theory
boy. Who
too.
knows?
Yeah, I forgot about the Loki aspect. Although it is funny because Feige's like, no, the shows aren't going to be connected to the movies. Oh wait, actually, just
Yeah.
imagine
Well,
someone not watching
Loki's
the
over.
Loki show, and then they come into Doomsday, and they're like, "Did I miss something?"
Well, he said that. Kyle. He said that after Loki. Loki's been done for 2 years. Come on, this is
Nope,
now.
nope. Don't give me that, Feige.
I'm giving it to you. I hope that because I know when they did the chair thing, remember thinking there were a lot more older names, as in like the old X-Men cast,
Yeah,
and older names of like RDJ is back now as Doctor Doom and things like that. Like it was like
yeah,
I hope they really do bring in Kate Bishop and like all these other newer characters that maybe haven't gotten full justice yet, to give them a real chance to shine in the universe somewhat. But
yeah.
so
It could help people get excited for other characters that they haven't seen yet. All the newer ones that could be tossed by the wayside, potentially. You
so
know, I get it.
I got
Yeah.
comic questions. Can we still be chatting, or you got to go because we're five over?
I got a few more minutes. Yeah.
So after Doomsday is Secret Wars, right? Or which war? Secret. Well, there's another war. Secret
Just Secret
Invasion is the
Wars.
one they just did. It's
Yeah,
Secret
Secret
Wars after,
Wars.
right?
Yep. Yep.
So, and in Secret Wars, the comics, that's usually like an event where the writers are like, all right, we're going to put everybody together. We're going to do one big battle. Whoever wins, now we reset our universe. So now the comics can start anew.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yep.
that's what they're clearly doing. Kevin Feige's like, after Secret Wars, we're having one new timeline. It's all back to normal. They're clearly going in that direction. So what is Doom if Secret Wars isn't it like a big battle royale? Like Doom puts everybody in a big dome in the comic, isn't it? Like he puts everybody in a big like arena and he makes everybody fight.
It wasn't Doom. It was another character who I'm spacing on, but he was like an intergalactic character that
Oh,
puts
like the
like heroes and
Walker or
villains
something.
together. But Doom is like a big player in the Secret Wars because like he gets bored by trying to fight the heroes, and instead he looks at the big fish, being like that being that like started this whole thing, who also drags Galactus into the fray as well. Like Galactus is just hanging around. He's not doing anything. He's just waiting around until it's like all over. And so Doctor Doom tries to like get to Galactus in that.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
So
I
then
don't know, it's a pretty cool. I mean, it's not like a Doom story, but it does cool stuff with the character, I
so
feel.
I feel like Secret Wars is heading to that direction, right? That they're all the heroes are going to fight, but it kind of feels like Doomsday. Now that it's not Kang Dynasty, now that it doesn't, because the original thought was it was Kang was going to merge all of them together because they want all the Kangs came together and was like, we're going to conquer everything and
Mm-hmm.
kill all the heroes in every universe or whatever. Like that was kind of the idea. So they were all going to end up fighting everybody or whatever. But now, like, what is Doomsday going to? Do you know what Doomsday's based on? Like, is it based on a comic? Is there a theory around that? Like, what? Or are they just calling it Doomsday and playing with whatever they want?
I think it's that one.
Does that kind of seem awesome? That it's not based off of a comic, that they're just kind of like, hey, we're going to lead into this big battle, but we can kind of just actually let creatives be a bit creative here and not
Yeah, but those
kind of.
creatives are also writing the script on the fly
Well,
mid
so we've been
production.
told.
I mean, like yes, but I'm still a little concerned. But you're right, though. It does have the potential to do stuff that we haven't seen before, or it could be interesting. And we are flying in blind with it. So if you're someone kind of like us that doesn't really need spoilers or doesn't need to know everything going into one of these movies, yeah, that's cool. Let's go in blind again. Why not?
Yeah, no, I like it. I think it would be cool. I think it's definitely. I think it would be cool too if maybe like if the beginning is Doom shows up and he's like, this kid's really freaking strong. I want to harness his power. I want to steal his power. And maybe Sue gets him away. And maybe I think it would be kind of cool if like it was like, Johnny, take him and go. We're going to send you to another universe. Come back with help. Figure
Mm-hmm.
something out. Take Franklin and run. Like that would
Mm-hmm.
also be kind of cool if it was like they were on the run. I think that would be a fun way to do it instead of we like it'd be cool if the Fantastic Four was like, we're the only heroes on our entire planet and in our universe, and we like seriously need help. So the
Mm-hmm.
closest universe that looks like has a bunch of power is the 616 because they'll probably be like, there's all these science-y readings from the snap and all this stuff. Like we're gonna do this universe.
Yep.
Or maybe do you think Reed will figure out that that universe is considered the sacred timeline, and he's like, send him there and beg them for help or something like.
I feel like it's either Doom or Reed that figures out the secret timeline stuff.
That'd be cool.
It has to be one of those two. I still am worried about Doctor Doom as well. Like I still don't really like having RDJ just come back as Doom. I kind of wish there was like a way to have Doctor Doom be in this movie first, like actually have like a true portrayal of that character.
Heard a handful of people say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a little bummed by that, but hope it works out. What else can I do?
I kind of like, though, that they're treating him a little bit more like Thanos, because Thanos was just teased and then teased and then teased, and it went from like, when are we going to really see him to like, we finally see him in Guardians for the first time, and then like the post-credit scene of him grabbing the gauntlet, being like, fine, I'm going to do this myself. Like, it's time. Like, that really built up Thanos to being such a big bad, and Kevin Feige saying that we realize Kang isn't Thanos might maybe allude to the fact that they didn't put him in the position to be, that they just threw him in as a villain multiple times thinking that might work, and it ended up not because he's getting beat by all these heroes individually.
Yeah.
And the idea of like Doom not be, having an after credit scene quickly teased, not showing his face, maybe it's just they're trying to build up a little bit how powerful he is going to be.
Mm.
And I am curious, what powers do you think they're going to give him? Because until I read a bunch about Doctor Doom the other day, like I didn't really know what powers he had, because in the movies it's just like the '05 he's got lightning, and then in the other one it's telekinesis, and it sounds like he's just a wizard. It sounds like he's Doctor Strange with a mask.
I mean,
Wow.
he has some magic to him, but mostly it's him just being like a super genius. So he can
He's
just,
just smart.
he's just super smart. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, no, like I think Doctor Doom could have the potential to be like an awesome, all-encompassing bad guy, because that is like he is Fantastic Four firstly, but he is like he can encompass like everyone else. But I don't know. I just after wanting all these attempts for Fantastic Four and especially Doctor Doom, I just wish Doctor Doom could have also had like its own great interpretation rather than it being like a cop out pivot type of situation and bringing in RDJ the way that they are. I still don't know how like his likeness is going to tie into possibly him looking like Iron Man. You know what I mean? I still don't know what that angle is going to be like if they even mentioned it at all. So I guess with those questions coming into Doomsday, that's my biggest concern. But outside of that, I'm fine with going in blind. I'm not
You
worried.
know, leaving the movies, I felt a little bit more like I was a little more excited for RDJ. Like I'm starting to get a little more why he would agree to do Doom. Like it's like you're going to be the next big villain, and you're not going to be kind. You're going to get to really sink your teeth into like if he's not quippy, if he's not funny, and he's not being sarcastic, and he's just straight evil. I could
Yeah.
really dig that. I think the biggest fear of how they handle him jumping in all these universes with our universe seeing him look like Tony Stark, their version of Tony Stark. I think it's like, I think it comes across as like if they make it a joke, a one-off joke, like they kind of do with Thanos once the Thanos from the past comes to the ending or like to the future, and then he's
Mm-hmm.
like, Scarlet Witch is like, you took everything from me. Like a lot of people complain about that. Like, you took everything from me. Well, I don't even know who you are. Like, it is a funny joke, I think, in the moment, but it does dumb down a little bit of like the Scarlet Witch's hatred of him and everything. Are they
Yeah.
going to tackle it that way? And they're just like, you look like Tony. And he's like, I don't know who Tony is. And then he like just hurts them. But if they are able to make it where our characters really grieve at that, and they're like, I can't fight him. Like, how am I supposed to do this? That could be kind of cool if they handle it that way. I think that's the way they have to do it.
I
But
with the decision they made to have him in the movie, I hope that they do that.
yeah, I hope so too. But
Yeah.
all right, guys, we can talk more about this next week. We've gone over about 12, 15 minutes here. So
We can make it a clip. There we go.
let's
Boom.
get Kyle out of here. All right, guys, what did you think of Fantastic Four First Steps? You excited for the future of the MCU? Drop everything in those comments. And as always, thank you, Moonmeal patrons, and thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.